Hello everyone, and I hope you're all doing very well. So we're cracking on with our combined arms and looking at Navy vessels. We started this yesterday with the first video, which was looking at the Russian cruiser Moskva, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, but it turns out I'm actually really enjoying this. I've been really looking forward to this. So the equivalent, in DCS at least, of the Russian cruiser Moskva is what we've got here, which is the NATO or the United States cruiser, and it's a cruiser in the Ticonderoga cruiser class, and we're going to have a look at it. Now, we can't go into too much detail about this particular vessel because, unlike the cruiser class that we were looking at, the Slava class for the Russians, which had only 3 vessels in that entire class, there are about 27 in this class here. So we haven't got much information on this particular one here. So we're not going to go through this information as such because it's just not as relevant. So first of all, we're going to look at this chart down here. In fact, before we do that, we should look at our classes. And before I even do that, massive thanks to everyone that's watched the Moskva video and has taken the time to write out big educational statements. I've been reading through all of them and really enjoyed them. So thank you to everyone that's doing that, and please keep it up because it's how we all learn together, which is what we're doing here, is, you know, having fun learning. And whoopsie. And so yes, keep doing that. And now I've learned a lot more. I'm starting to enjoy it more as well. So the first thing is, when we're looking at the classes, we've got the smallest, the corvette, then we've got the frigate, then we've got the destroyer, and then we've got the big boys, which are the cruisers. We've also got battle cruisers, and we haven't quite worked out if that goes there, as in between those two, or there yet. I'm not sure, or what actually a battle cruiser is. But anyway, we don't have any in DCS, so we're not even going to worry about it. So what we've got here is all of the all of the American ships in this cruiser class. We've got, starting with CG-47 all the way up to CG-73, and these are split into 2, the Mark 26 and the Mark 41, and this is all about the launching system of its main weaponry. So this these guys here, the Mark 26, had twin arm missile launchers, and these guys here, the Mark 41s, had vertical launch systems. That's what separates these, if you like, the kind of Mark 2, if you like, and the Mark 1. As well as that, the Mark 1s, or the Mark 26s, are all out of service. They've all been decommissioned between 2004 and 2005, whilst all 22, or I believe, of the Mark 41, the second variants, are still all in use. Now, the one we get in DCS, I think, is CG-60, the Normandy. Again, let me know if I'm wrong, but that's the one I'm pretty sure we get. Let me just see if it has its own page out of interest. Oh, it does, has its own page. Wow. Again, it's just, I mean, it's absolutely brilliant that someone's gone through and done this, but there's just too much information for us to go through on this video, that I think. In fact, we could have a quick look. Gulf War, it was active, so it's Gulf War 1. Adriatic operations, 50th anniversary of D-Day. Operation Deliberate Force, Exercise Bright Star, Operation Southern Watch. So there's a hell of a lot of information, but yeah, too much today, I think. So let's go back. Okay, so that tells us a little bit about our vessel class. Now we're going to go straight to the money, which is the specification, which is what we're really interested in. If you guys are really interested in the history of it, then let me know and we'll go through and make another video on that. If not, then I'm just going to read it in my personal time if I ever get a chance. So its class is obviously the Ticonderoga class, and that is the name of the first vessel, CG-47 out of interest there, and so that was made into a class as such, or the name of the class. It was made by Ingalls Shipbuilding Bath Ironworks. They're all American. It was preceded by the Virginia class, and they're presumably all out of service now and have been superseded by this class we're in now. The cost is approximately $1 billion per unit. It was built, or they were built, between 1980 and 1994, so presumably that's all 27 of them, and they were in commission from 1983 to present. Completed were 27 cruisers, and active still are 22 cruisers, and the retired ones are those 5s we looked at. The type, like the Moskva, they are guided missile cruisers, so their main weapon is guided missiles. However, unlike the Moskva is, as far as I can attain, mainly for killing other ships, shooting down aircraft for fleet defense and killing other ships. where this one's a bit different. Yes, it can kill ships and it has anti-ship weaponry, but this one also has a lot more reach in terms of anti-ground operations that we'll have a look at as we go on. Next, displacement, 9.6 thousand tons, as opposed to the 12,300 tons displacement of the Moskva, so over 3,000 tons lighter. Length is 567 feet, so that's a good 80 or 90 feet less than the Moskva, I think. Beam is 55 feet, the draft is 34 feet. Propulsion, 4 times General Electric LM 2500 gas turbine engines. Now, gas turbine engines also powered the Moskva, but that had 2, if you remember. This has 4. And that kind of leads me on to why these big cruisers have gas turbine engines. What is specific about gas turbine engines that makes them particularly good for the use in a big ship? What puts them higher in their usefulness than, say, a diesel engine? Or, I don't know much about ships' engines so far, but what's suited about these engines to the cruisers? And actually thinking about it, what do they actually burn? Are these burning? Is this here burning kerosene, or is this burning literally gas? I'm pretty sure they're burning gas in the Moskva, but I'm not sure on this, and we haven't really got time to go and look any further, but it's just something to think about. 2 times controllable reversible pitch propellers with 2 rudders, a maximum speed of 32.5 knots, as opposed to the 30 knots of the Moskva. It doesn't tell us how many horsepower we've got here, but presumably it's something to do with the beam length and the tonnage that allows us to go faster. Range is 6,000 miles. I think that's on cruise, at 20 knots, as opposed to, I think, about 10 or 12,000 miles for the Moskva, so much more in the Moskva. Complement is 30 officers and 300 enlisted men, as opposed to about 460 on the Moskva. We've got sensors and processing systems. So the ANSPI SPY1 AB multi-function radar. So this guy must be a mixture of air to ground, ground to ground and ground to air radar. It says it's a key component in the Aegis combat system. It says it uses 4 complementary antennae. Now I believe it's these little guys here. You see one on that facade there, one on that facade there. There'll be one on the other side and one on the back. It appears to be this ANSP1 multifunction radar, so I guess we'll have a bit more look at that later. The ANSPS-49 air search radar, so that's our air search radar, so that's going to be a spinning mesh type affair that we're kind of used to there. We've got an ANSPG-625 control radar, so that's going to be a track radar. We have an ANSPS-73 surface search radar, so that is a ship search radar. An ANSPQ gun fire control radar. I'm going to assume that's for the large caliber guns as per the small caliber, as with the Mark 86 gun control fire system. Okay, so we've got radar guidance for our gun, which is interesting. Then we've got an ANLSLQ32 electronic warfare suite. So this is going to be jamming, isn't it? This is going to be noise creation and whatnot, so that's interesting. That's going to be there to stop, hostile ship radars at the end of the day, and any radar-guided missiles. ANSQQ89 and 15 sonar suite, consisting of this active sonar and, let me try and get under there, that passive sonar. So we've got active sonar where we can create sonar noise, as far as I'm aware, and passive where we can listen to submarines. ANSQQ28 light airborne multipurpose system. What was the name? LAMPS, I remember this. It's a system released from helicopters, which are also stationed on the ship, and they are, as far as I'm aware, passive sonars for listening to submarines, but maybe active as well, so let me know what you think about that. With an electronic warfare Mark 36 SRBOC, these are super rapid bloom off-board countermeasures, chaff and decoy launch warning system. Is a short-range mortar that launches chaff or infrared decoys from the naval vessels to foil anti-ship missiles. Each launcher has 3 tubes at 45 degrees, so these are going to be firing our chaff and our flares, a bit like a plane does, exactly for the same reason, to foil radar locks and IR-guided missiles. AN-SLQ-25 Nixie and its variants are towed torpedo decoys used on US and Allied warships. It consists of a towed decoy device and a shipboard signal generator. The decoy emits signals to draw a torpedo away from its intended target, so that's dragged behind the ship. That's very interesting. Then armaments. So we've got the Mark 26 cruiser, which are all gone now, and we don't have that, so we're just going to ignore that. What we have is the Mark 41. In fact, no, can't ignore it completely. What we do have on the Mark 26 is the Mark 26. So the twin kind of missile launchers like this. They could launch 2 missiles, if you like, at a time or near to each other. And they had 2 of these launchers. And they were firing the RAM-66 SM-2. Well, the SM-2, I think, was the actual missile, which was, what was it? It was anti-ship and it was anti-air. Not anti-ground, I don't think. It used to have the mortars for the submarines, harpoons, anti-ship harpoons, 2 5-inch guns, 2 to 4 M2s, 2 phalanxes, and torpedo launchers. So that's that. Let's see what's different on the Mark 41 that we get. So first of all, rather than these kind of arm launchers, we have vertical launchers. So 2 times 61 cell, so that must be 122, which is amazing. Mark 41 vertical launch systems containing 122 mix of. We can have any of these. Now I don't think we get all of these in DCS that I'm aware of. I think what I meant to say is I don't think we can choose what we get. We're going to have a little look, in fact, before I say anything further. But in reality, we have all of these. So this guy here, I believe, is a upgraded version of this here. So RIM-66, SM-2, so anti-air and anti-ship. We've got this little baby here. So it's RIM-66. That's the type of SAM. SM-3 is an anti-ballistic missile. So this is to shoot down other missiles, I believe. How interesting. RIM-162A, and that is another one to shoot down, that shoots down aircraft and attacking missiles. So these are, I think, fleet defense missiles designed to protect the entire fleet from anti-ship missiles and aircraft. RIM-174A standard ERAM. This looks a bit different. Okay, it just appears to be extended range anti-air missile. Lots of anti-air stuff going here. Tomahawk. So we're going to be using some of these today. So we're going to be using these. They're subsonic cruise missiles. I'm sure you already know, for attacking ground targets. So that should be interesting. I'm not sure whether you can use them against ships or not. I doubt it. I think they would be just too bad at getting through defences. But against ground, they're really good. And a huge range. In fact, I'm just going to have a little look at the range now of this. So I think that's going to be useful. And a cost out of interest. Well, 1.9 million. Quite a lot. Speed. Okay, so I don't know which one we get, but the lightest one looks like the earliest one is going to be 1,350 miles, longer than we can ever want to go, basically. So that's interesting. So we can shoot across any map. Interesting. But a RUM 139, what's that? If I can get that up. Ah, how interesting. It's an anti-submarine missile in the ASROC family, currently built by Lockheed Martin. I was only whinging yesterday that amazing on the Moskva how crude the anti-submarine defences were. Basically a bunch of mortars firing depth charges, and how lack of progress in anti-submarine field. But now I see we've got kind of airborne to submarine missiles, anti-submarine missiles. This is very interesting now. Do we get these in DCS? I doubt it, but we'll certainly have a look. We got 8 times RGM-84 Harpoon missiles. Now, these are anti-ship missiles, but they're very different to these. So all of these ones that I'm aware of that are anti-ship, I know they're anti-air, but they're anti-ship as well. They're lofty missiles. They go up high and dive down on a target. Whereas the Harpoon's different. It goes, instead of fast, it goes slowly and it goes low. It goes underneath radars, as we saw yesterday with the Moskva. It went under the Moskva's radar. So that's what that's all about. Only 8 of them, which is interesting, but I guess that's all they need. It's got 2 times 5-inch caliber lightweight guns. What's lightweight about them, I don't know, but that's interesting. And it sounds like they're going to be radar driven. We've got 2 times 25mm Mark 38 gun. I'm not really sure why we have that, and we've got 2 to 4 M2 machine guns here as well. So I'm not sure why we have these lighter guns when we've got this big cannon here. Obviously you guys know why you would have smaller weaponry. But, it's a Bushmaster. Look at that, it's 25mm Bushmaster, as used in almost certainly a lot of the NATO 25mm turreted IFEs and stuff like that. That's interesting. It might be the same. It's the same one in the Bradley, isn't it? That is interesting. So why has it got a Bushmaster? What's that for? Why wouldn't you use that gun there? I think I've just answered my own question. What if you wanted to disable a vessel instead of blowing it up. Well, you wouldn't want to disable a vessel with that, would you? So you could disable it with this. So that might make sense to me. Phalanxes, these are anti-missile batteries. Probably going to be one on the left, one on the right for shooting down missiles. Radar guided with their own independent radars. And 2x Mark 32 13-inch triple torpedo tubes. What are these for? Are they submarine? Are they anti-ship? Why would they be anti-ship when we've got a plethora of anti-ship missiles above? Doesn't make any sense to me. What if maybe a ship had such good electronic warfare defences that the other missiles weren't working? Maybe that's why we would have these. Let me know what you think about that and what kind of range we could get off these. I don't think we've got time to go into it any further now, but that's interesting. I doubt we'll have any of these in DCS, but we'll try it. Armour, limited Kevlar splinter protection in critical areas. One thing I didn't get any answer from you guys is in the splinter armour protection. So I'd like to know what you guys think about that. Stationed aboard are 2x Sikorsky SH-60B. So these are the Black Hawks, aren't they? The Naval Black Hawks, or MH-60R Seahawk with the lamps capable helicopters. Cool. So that's that. You guys can push back with anything that I've done wrong there or anything you want to add. That would be muchly appreciated. Thank you. Now we're going to go and actually use the thing and see what we can do with it. Right, we're in now. We're going to be blue. We're going to be Game Master because I want to be able to control both vessels in this. Okay. There we go. And here's our chap here. Let's have a quick look at him before we make him fight. So we can see the 5-inch gun on the front there, radar controlled. We've got the 5-inch gun at the back as well. Now we've got these chaps at the back here. They're not the these guys here. They're not the torpedo launchers, I don't think, and I don't remember seeing any what these could be in the description. There was no mention of anti-submarine mortars or this kind of thing in the in what it said in Wikipedia. So that's an interesting one. What do you guys think about that? Plus, what is the kind of tuning fork type thing there? Anyone know what that is? We've got the, I'm guessing these are the Bushmasters, the 25mm here. That's interesting. They look like they're remotely driven as well. So here is the first of the arrays for the vertical launch missiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 61 there and 61 in the front. And I'm not sure if it's going to have a mixture of missiles in DCS or just one type. We're just going to have to find out the hard way. Helipad there. So this is part of the Aegis defense systems, the main multi-radar as they called it. So you've got a sensor there, a sensor there, a sensor there, and a sensor on the front. So that's that. Got our 61 multiple launchers here. So you can see why they had the multiple launchers and how much more effective it is than the twin launchers, because the twin launchers could only fire 2 at a time basically, and this can essentially fire 61 at a time as far as I'm aware. So it can take down basically any attack. So what are these little spinny doodahs? Do we think these are weather or navigation maybe? And what do we think that is? More antennae here. I don't know which is which. One of these two is the gun radar, or the guns radar, I remember. Where's the big mesh search radar? There is the airborne search radar. We've got more of these globes around here. Lots and lots of antennas. More here, more here. So this thing is, again, like the Moskva, bristling with sensors. We've got a boat there for doing whatever the hell you've got to do, going over to another ship or something. Here are these little kind of inflatable raft things that you guys have been talking about that dispatch automatically if the boat sinks. Let's have a little look here. Look at these little black drums. That's interesting. And what are these? I don't remember any mention of these in Wikipedia. There are no torpedo tubes either, like it said in the Wikipedia. So CG-60 I guess didn't get them. Oh, I wonder if these are the chaff and flare launchers. Maybe the chaff and flare launchers. Okay, phalanx there, with its radar there. And I wonder what that little thing is. I've not seen that on a phalanx before. Like a little optical backup or something. That's interesting. Chimneys for the engine, I guess. More sense. This will be for the rear gun then. This will be for the rear gun. Oh look, more what we think are probably countermeasures there. These antennas are a little weird here. I'm not sure what these are doing here, kind of facing at the main mast of the vessel. More antennas there, maybe weather measuring equipment there. I'm not sure, navigation equipment. What do we think there? Awesome crow's nest. Are these the light poles for red and green? I'm not sure. Oh look, there's the M2. We found the M2. Awesome. So you've got the M2 there. That's manually driven. Something that's not automated. No one on this side, which is strange. But I can see. Cool little staircase there. What are these things? Are these like runoff for water? They must be, mustn't they? What's that there? Does it turn round and is it for craning goods on board? Stuff like that? That maybe is like a trestle for boarding. What the hell is the point of that there? Tiny little no man's bit there. Lovely bit of walkway there. The bosses can go and look out on stuff, whatever the hell they want to look out on. Is there any part that we haven't scoured? Scoured all these antennae here. More spinny things up here. Lots and lots of sensors. Okay. Oh look, there's some guns at the front there. A couple more M2s there. So obviously the 5-inch gun isn't powerful enough. I wonder if the 5-inch guns have a minimum range, and that's why you need the M2s for close range. Stuff like that. I wonder if that's a thing. What are these big poles here? Why would I have these big poles here? Look. Don't seem to do anything. Look, we've got another one of these, whatever they are here. That's for the guy for landing guiding the helicopter in. Another one of these rods here. Wow, that is a fast moving flag. Lights. Look, there must be lights to guide the pilot in. A lot of detail in here. Anything else? So what are the Bushmasters for, do we think? Right. Okay. Thoroughly good looking vessel, that is. Still not as manly as the Moskva. Go and have a look at the Moskva again. Oh, that is a manly looking vessel. Look at the guns on it. The miniguns. And the sub-launchers. Anyway, let's go and drive our vehicle. So we press F10. We'd have to be in a Game Master slot or a Tactical Commander slot. Game Master slot allows us to control both vehicles, the baddie and the goodie. We'll make them have a fight in a bit. So first of all, moving the vehicle. Select the vehicle. Turn our ROE here, whether we want to fire, return fire or hold. State is obviously what state you want it to be in. Now this appears not to be working at the moment. I just can't get this to work from the mission editor or from the game here. So if I wanted these guys to fight properly, like I would do, I'd turn them to red and then make them fight, but it doesn't work. You click back on it and it's green. Everything I do turns it to just goes back to green, so they refuse to fight properly, which is very frustrating for us who want to see big missile games. If you can see what's wrong, let me know, but I just think it's not working at the moment. Like I said, I've tried it from the mission editor as well and it just doesn't make any difference. So to move it, click on it, set path, and left click there, and right click to confirm. Increase the speed to whatever we want to go to. Everything is slow with the ship, so we're just going to have to let it get on its way. Speed up time. Have a little look at him. There he goes. Boshing his way there. Right, and we can make him do stuff along the way. We've got a Tomahawk with, what, 1,000 miles of range or something, 1,200 miles of range, so we can shoot anywhere on this map. So if I want to shoot a Tomahawk, I'm just going to go add target. And what don't we like the look of? The runway at Guadalajara I've never liked the look of. I mean, Sochi. So let's have a shot there, shall we? See if we can get him to fire. It's going to be from one of the... there he goes. From one of the rear 61 launchers. Up it goes. Now, I know this is a BGM 109B. The last time I fired one of these, I fired an A version. So it looks like it's got A and B versions, which is interesting. So it looks like a lot of the potential payload is modelled, at least 2 types of Tomahawk, which is interesting. So that Tomahawk's going to take its sweet time to get there, obviously. We just let that get there. Now it's only used for ground targets, not defended targets like a ship, because it would easily be shot down by a ship. In fact, it may be shot down by this ship by accident, we'll see. But good there. Other than that, let's continue here on his little journey. What we're going to do is make him use his gun next, so we're going to have to move closer to a potential target. Missile's about to strike. Beautiful. Look at that crater. That's a 1,000 pound warhead in there, so conventional warhead, so that does a lot of damage. Got some baddies here. I've not actually tried attacking ground units yet, so let's give that a... oh, and they're all dead. What happened is there, I wasn't expecting that, he saw them because he was in the 10 miles visual range that DCS has, and he shot him with his guns, so that's a shame. I would have liked to have seen that. So that's something to bear in mind as well. If he just sees the units like that, he'll just blast them with his guns. That's interesting. Right, I want him to shoot stuff with his guns now, so I'm going to give him a bunch of targets. Hopefully it's within gun range and not within missile range. So I'm going to start adding some targets, big juicy ones. Start lining them up. They'll disappear as he starts to take the shots. Oh, massive destruction. That's the rear gun firing. And that is all those targets destroyed. Look at that. It did a really great job of it. Amazing guns. Beautiful. Right. So, that's the Tomahawks used. And that's the main guns used. Next we want the phalanxes to fire. And the anti-air to fire. And the anti-ship to fire. Now, like I said, this may not work very well because I can't get them out of green. So they're basically going to just hug each other and be friends rather than fighting each other. But what we've got here is the American cruiser CG-60, as we believe it is, and we've got the Moskva down here. Which one's going to win? I think the Moskva. It's got much bigger missiles, but we'll see. I'm usually wrong. One thing you told me is not to make them go head on because they won't be able to use all of their weapons properly if they go head on. So we'll make them merge kind of side by side, old battleship style, so they can use all their weapons. They probably won't use them, unfortunately, because of the reasons I've been saying. I just can't get that to work. So let's get them on their way. Set path. This guy's going to go there. This guy's going to go there. They will fight at each other on a line of sight basis, which is about 25 miles with the curvature of the Earth, curvature of the sea. So within 25 miles, they'll start blatting each other. And as well as that, I could shoot over the horizon. What I could do is I could select our guy here. And I could go add target and add that guy as a target, and he will just obliterate him with tomahawks, but that's a little bit boring. And this guy probably won't defend himself for the reasons I said before. So we need to try and make them fight themselves without any interaction from me. So let's see what they do in green state. I'm refusing to move. Now this is pretty typical, I must admit. So what I like to do is go in, go out, select him again, select another path, maybe with 2 points in it. Left, right click, speed up time a bit, and then there we go. Sometimes it can just, like I'm describing for the Moskva, it can be very clunky. Sometimes you have to set a course twice for him to listen. I don't really know what the reasons are, but it's as long as just try not to get frustrated. It will work in the end. This guy, I'll set another path for him. 2 points seems to work better. Left, left, right click. Turn his speed up. Let's see if we can get him moving too, shall we? Yep, they're both moving now. Okay, got rid of the clunkiness. Again, there's nothing I can do. It just goes back to green. Oh, stop! Right, massive battle in progress. Okay, this is pretty cool. Wasn't expecting this. Let's slow down and see what's going on. So the Moskva has fired. This is what I was worried about. The Moskva sandboxes, these Mach 2, just terribly good missiles. Let's have a look at them. Oops. Yeah, so these are the sandboxes that we looked at yesterday, and these are, although they fly fairly high, they're incredibly fast and difficult to intercept with a massive warhead. They're 40 feet long, for God's sake. So we're going to see what the other guy makes of these. And then our chap here that we're looking at today, the blue cruiser, is firing SM2s. That's interesting. So it's decided SM2s, the Rim 61s or Rim 66s, I think. Anything else in there? No. And a mixture of harpoons and SM2s. So that's interesting. Now, I don't think this guy gets a choice in what he fires. I think the only anti-ship missile that he's got is the sandbox from memory, at least at this range, whereas the harpoons can do 25 miles and the rims, the rims can also do 25 miles. Now, the slight thing I'm a bit worried about now is how are they going to defend? I get the feeling they're not going to defend themselves because of their state, but we'll see. And all of these have come from the vertical. Oh no, the harpoons. The harpoons, I think, have come from. Let's go and have a quick look at a harpoon. I'm not sure whether they came from. That was a harpoon we just saw there. That's a rim. Rim, sandbox, rim. So the rims are definitely coming out of the vertical launcher. Not sure where the harpoons are actually coming out from. One just appeared there. That's annoying. I wish I could have seen that. Let's go and have a look at it. No, they definitely don't come out from the vertical. Look, it's come out from somewhere else. I'm not sure where. So, interestingly, this guy's only chose to fire 6 at once. Sorry, yeah, 6 at once. Is that the limitation he has? Maybe. No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like he should be able to fire. But he's figured 6 is enough for this guy. Whereas this guy, because he's got 120... This guy's only got 16 missiles. This guy's got 122. So this guy can absolutely dominate this guy. At least in terms of amount of ordnance. I've just realised a lot of these rims might actually be shooting the sandboxes down. We'll just have to... Yeah, look, they're shooting the sandboxes down. How interesting. Right. I'm not sure we're going to get to actually see any getting shot down. What an interesting fight. There, that one just missed. So these rims are designed to do this, to shoot these sandboxes down. Look at this. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, got him. And now, I thought the sandboxes were going to be invincible, but against a contemporary guy like this, it looks like they're completely outclassed, which shows how wrong I am. That's going to get taken down. Boom! Look at that. So all of these rims were actually going for sandboxes. None of them went for this guy here, even though they can be used for anti-ship, remember. This guy's about to get slaughtered. Look, I'm wondering why Red's not firing any more missiles at this point. Oh, I missed. Missed. I think we just passed a harpoon, actually. What was that? There's a harpoon that just went by. Look at that. Oh, look, here come a bunch more sandboxes. That's a harpoon. More rims. So this sandbox might get through. How interesting. Just its pure speed, those rims are really struggling to hit it. Boom! The rims got it. Beautiful work. These rims are Mach 2. They're really fast, but these harpoons are really slow. They'll take ages. But they're low. They're 49 feet. They go under the radar. So this guy may not be able to defend. Well, the good thing is they're all defending each other, which is defending themselves, sorry. So at least that looks pretty cool. Boom, boom. Sandboxes are all blowing up again. Boom. That is almost all the sandboxes down again. Is he going to get through? Or more rims going out? Sorry, more sandboxes going out. But the harpoons are getting there finally. How interesting. So it looks like the this guy started firing first. Once they got to distance, this guy started firing. Then the rims went out. Then the harpoons went out. Boom. And the harpoons have nearly got to this ship here, just worn it down through attrition. This guy's got 122 missiles, remember. Will he run out? First harpoons are getting close. Yeah, the phalanxes are disabled. That's a bit disappointing. The phalanxes would usually shoot this thing down, but because it's in green state, they refuse to be used. They are these things down here. They would usually be shooting this guy, I believe. Either that, or this missile has generally gone under the radar and then managed to pop up and down in time for these not to be able to be seen. But I get the feeling that's probably not the case. But let me know what you think. Boom. If they really are defeating the phalanxes, then that's a really good weapon. I think that was a seagull. Yeah, the Moskva's out of ammo. Moskva's out of ammo. This is showing how much better a US cruiser is than a Russian cruiser. So much better. The only problem is that warheads just aren't big enough to do any damage. Wow, that's the end of it. That's 122 missiles fired from CG-60 and 16 fired by Moskva. Nothing else is going to happen. It's a stalemate. Even though 8 harpoons hit the Moskva, it doesn't appear to be. I think it's damaged a bit. You can see it's damaged. But 8 harpoons didn't take it down. So let me know what you think. Whether 8 harpoons should have taken that thing down. I don't really know anything about them. But I would have thought they would have done some decent damage to a cruiser. This guy unharmed because the sandboxes just couldn't get anywhere near because of the RIM 66s. So that. Next we're going to go and have a look at its air-to-air defences. We're going to hit it with an F-15 and see what it can shoot. F-15, in we go. Right. Let's check our distance from him. So we're a nice, high, easy target. We are 54 miles away. Let's see how good those SM2s really are. That is the nail signature, the AE of that type of radar. I wonder if that means Aegis. The Aegis system, AE, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Alright, we've got a spike. Possibly a missile, yes, missile launches, look. Let's see what they are. Yep, so it's firing the SM2 from its vertical launch system. So it's got lots of them to use on me if it wants. And it did it at 40 miles, so that's Grumble distance. So those are some serious missiles. Now what it doesn't realise is that I am actually invincible, so it's not going to do any damage. And let's see if it's a lofter. It is, it's a Grumble style lofter. Interestingly, it only fires 1 at a time, whereas the Moskva fired 2 at a time with the Grumbles. And it's a big missile. Let's just see if we can see how big it is compared with us, if we get it at just the right time. Cool, huh? No, it's actually a very small missile. Well, not tiny, but it's not as big as a Grumble, I don't think. Right, what else have you got? Probably going to be another single missile. They look, because they're small, they're probably going to be pretty manoeuvrable. That's very fast missile. Look at that. I saw still nearly 4,000 knots there. Like Mach 6 or something. Very impressive missile. Only ever one at a time. Interesting tactic. Right, let's get down and see if we can get him to use his phalanxes. Boom. One after the other. Appears to have a weak spot about 2 miles in. Can't fire, look. So, if you remember, the Moskva had close range SAMs, the Osas, Geckos, whereas this doesn't seem to have any close range SAMs, so it appears to be a weak spot in the defences of this boat, and weak spots are always nice to find. No, I can't get it to fire at me, look. Okay, spike. Aha! So here go the phalanxes. So I think there's a lovely sweet spot between the phalanx and where those SM, the Rim 66 SM2s can fire that the Moskva doesn't have. So that's very interesting. Now let's see if he can fire directly perpendicularly up, because the Moskva can't. It appears he can. Or can he? Yes, he can. Absolutely mullered me. Look how accurate that is. Look how accurate it is. Amazing gun. I would be absolutely mullered. Really good stuff. Good time. Right. So that shows using its SM2s, which appear to be really good, really hard to beat missiles. Now I'm pretty sure we can go under the radar. Well, I know I can because I've done a video on it. But you've got to go very low for that. And obviously when we're getting close, we've got those miniguns. The M2s don't seem to be modelled. The Bushmasters don't seem to be modelled in their firing. I doubt the anti-submarine stuff was modelled, or I will find out on another day. That's all I've got to show, really. I hope you enjoyed that. And I will do some more vids on the boats, because it seems to be just genuinely interesting. And see you later.